Welcome to the She Means Business podcast, where we bring you the voices of trailblazing women who are breaking barriers, building legacies, and redefining leadership across industries. Today, we are joined by someone who truly embodies the spirit of purposeful innovation, Mohana Indukuri. With over 2 decades of global experience in financial IT and tech architecture across New York and India, Mohana is the founder and CEO of Rini.ai, a company delivering cutting-edge solutions in cloud, AI, and data engineering. She's a mentor, a poet, an explorer, and above all, a champion of inclusive innovation and women in tech. From her leadership roles at Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and S&P Global, to mentoring with the Cherry Blair Foundation and earning recognition like Bharat Ke Sitare and Power Women 2022, Mohana's journey is as inspiring as it is impactful. Let's dive in, and a very, very warm welcome, Mohana. Welcome to nasscom and this episode of She Means Business.
Thank you very much. That's a warm welcome. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Ranita and the team. This is great initiative, She Means Business. I've seen a couple of them and I'm very great to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. And with that, we will dive straight away into the questions. What is the biggest myth that you hear from companies trying to do AI, and what's the reality behind building solutions that you actually work?
Yeah, AI is the buzzword. So that's interesting to talk about it. Everybody is talking about it. Biggest myth I can say is AI is a magic plugin that transforms businesses overnight. You just hire a data science team, implement a chatbot, and you're done. But in reality, that's not how it works. It's not a product. This is an ongoing capability. Whatever the successful solutions we built at Rini.ai starts with simple and clear contextual data, a deep dive into the business processes, involving all the stakeholders and understanding the overall vision and aligning with the business goals. So general drawback, or what many companies underestimate, is the groundwork required, labeling of the data, how they may not be involving all the functional teams. They just think it's a tech. So that is where we have to bridge the gap and bring in the knowledge.
That's actually bang on, and that's actually a very good start to begin with.
Yeah.
If I go to different verticals, and you spoke about data, and you worked across so many verticals, BFSI, healthcare, retail. So what is that one surprising way data and AI are reshaping how these industries serve people?
Yes. I've been in the workforce for 25 years without a gap. I worked for Wall Street for 17 years. And with AI, we used to feel this is just more of automating the operational work, doing the work faster. But what's surprising and very beautiful is how it is bringing in the empathy aspect of it and hyper-personalization aspect of it. Rather than, especially related to BFSI, this is very cold and transactional means of customer service. So when we bring in these aspects, it actually adds better customer satisfaction and the retention. And coming to the healthcare, so rather than checking their vitals and understanding doing the surgeries, that kind of stuff, how we add empathy, understand their behavior, understand, like let's say in between the appointments and when we talk, even checking the voice tone, how they're actually, even though they are not able to express, how to understand their situation, empathize with them. And how, are they missing the appointments? What is the reason? So all of these, the traditional means may not have the time or may not have that perspective, but with the AI, with advanced technologies, we can bring in all this more human touch than what humans used to do.
Seriously, that's kind of really unbelievable.
And coming to BFSI, rather than just the fraud protection, these will anyway happen. It has been going on, but how even ChatGPT, we are going to it for every aspect of it. It may even get to the level of financial guidance. It may even instill best practices of how to use your money in the right places. So that kind of empathy, hyper-personalization, guidance, those are the things that I am looking forward to.
So, I mean, these are some very fascinating things that you're telling us that AI can do. Now, with the technology, if I may say, evolving so fast, and, there are so many multiple use cases, and some of them, that you just mentioned. How do you decide which trends to bet on and which to ignore?
Yeah. As a founder, we have to stay curious. We have to be on top of the market trends, but we have to be grounded. That is what is important. What I always look for is what is foundational versus fashionable, I can say. So, general questions I ask myself as a Rene.ai. We want to see 3 questions we generally ask. Is it actually solving the human real problem faster or better? The second question can be, are we enabling the trust? Are we enabling the scalability? And is it enabling the personalization? The third aspect, being in the BFSI and healthcare, primarily in US, the main thing is the regulation. So we can just implement anything, but is it conforming to the rules, regulatory principles? So security of the data. These are the aspects, privacy of the data. So these aspects have to be considered to take anything. Of course, there are so many trends we are excited about, like multimodal, which involves voice, text, data, because that's how primarily humans interact with each other. So that we're exploring, we're already creating the AI agents involving those aspects, and clients are actually happy and getting the advantage out of those solutions. But we are very careful whenever there's overhyped tools that may not have the governance. Sometimes we may be tempted with the novelty, but what we have to look for, whether it has a support overall, because there may be so many new companies cropping up daily with maybe free tools. Or so once we feel okay, if everything can be built in a couple of hours what used to take months, but of course it will create, because that's what the product is about. But what happens if the company does not exist after a few months? What is the support? What is the long-term costs, as well as the debugging or the support? So that is what we have to look for when building the enterprise applications. For anybody coming up with a brand new idea, just want to try it out, of course they cannot afford these long-term traditional ways of spending lakhs or crores of rupees on products. They can easily use any of these tools to showcase, create POCs, to get the real bigger projects.
Okay. Now, for a second, we'll come back from AI to humans. And given that you lead global teams across US and India, what do you think? I mean, building high performance tech teams across cultures, how do you crack it, and how difficult do you think this is?
We are a 20-year-old IT consulting company in US, and I worked in Wall Street for major financial companies for almost 17 years. And then after moving to India, I know exactly what is the gap between US culture and India culture, and I have experienced from both sides. I know the pluses and minuses on both sides. So that is also one of the inspiring factor for me to start Rene.ai, just to bridge the gap between the two, and how to get the best of the both worlds. So as I said, I am here, I am in US. So I enjoy both because I know the best of the both worlds.
Yeah.
So what
I think that's, very well put. Yeah.
What I have seen is the problem is not the time zone. Time zone is only one aspect of it. Main thing is, I can say, mindset alignment and trust. So there are some nature of the jobs which needs to work complete EST, but once we build the trust, it doesn't matter which time zone you're working for, clients completely trust you. And also, what I actually felt successful in building, at least in our organization, is I don't want to have any segregation of onshore, offshore. We are superior, you are just taking the orders and fulfilling it. I insist and also upskill our team from both sides. We have employees in US and also as well as in India. We upskill so that each and every member of any category, it has ownership and understanding the domain knowledge. So when you know what you're doing, how it is helpful in the bigger picture, that is when you feel empowered. And luckily the clients we have, they are very good with recognizing the talent. They don't differentiate between a contractor versus full-time or onshore versus offshore. So this is actually helping, and that's what I felt I also contributed to that culture. So that is very, very important. I feel it's like a bi-directional mentoring. I have even given 3.5 months of technology course to one of the clients for free. I can afford for free because it's a lot economical compared to US. They are like mind blown because 3.5 months of course for 30 people is like way too much out of their budgets. So, but it is just our thought process and how you see the bigger picture helping the client will also help us in our business. It's mutual. So that's what is working.
I think those are some really nice nuggets, and I'm sure our viewers are, noting some of them. But I think I just get down to one last question in the interest of time to say that what is your bold prediction of AI that you think is not being talked about currently?
There is nothing that I know that world is not talking about because it's everywhere. And sometimes people just talk. Like, let's say we used to talk about crore is a big number 20 years ago. Now just people say, hey, 1 lakh crores, maybe Ambani. They don't understand the intensity, the actual meaning of that. They just casually use those words because it goes over their heads, whatever is not comprehensible. So that is what the power of AI at this point. So, but what we have to understand is any aspects of life, the money, the value, all of this comes because of the scarcity of knowledge, scarcity of money. We pay maybe $400-500 per hour to a lawyer because his knowledge is valuable. Or for a chief architect or a CEO, we pay $1 million for a CEO just because his knowledge is scarce. But when it comes to AI, with the abundance, with the infinite amount of knowledge available, mostly for free sometimes, so the whole criteria of money, value, how we see the world, everything changes. That human-centric evolution is one thing. We are not using AI as an assistant anymore. We are creating a virtual self, maybe 100 times like superior of what our capabilities are. So there's so much going on. Hopefully everything will go in the positive direction because any advancement can go any inside. How we as a humanity, we are responsible to create a positive world. I mean that
I think in the end that's what matters. It's not about predicting the future, but you rightly put it that in the end what matters is that it has to be responsible, whatever advancements take, and it has to be better for humanity. With that, thank you so much, Moana. It was wonderful talking with you.
Thank you very much.